Hi, boys and girls. Today I decided to sit on my porch because it was such a nice day out, and I'm going to read the next book in Junie B. Jones series. And this one happens to be Junie B. Jones and Her Big Fat Mouth. And our story is written, who is the author? Let's see, Barbara Park. Barbara Park is our author. And so we know that Junie B. Jones doesn't do the right thing lots of times. We read the first book, which was The Stupid Smelly Bus, and she was afraid to ride the bus. The second one was a little monkey business, where she told everybody because she thought that her little brother was really a monkey, but it wasn't. And so today we're going to start this story, Junie B. Jones and Her Big Fat Mouth. So we've been talking about predictions. So I want you to think, what could she, because usually when somebody says you have a big fat mouth, says you're saying something you probably shouldn't be saying. So my thought would be, what is it that she could be saying that would maybe get her into trouble? There's lots of things, isn't there, that she could be doing. So again, if I look on the side, this is the third book. You can see it right here at the top, the third book in the series. Again, Junie B. Jones and Her Big Fat Mouth. And there are 8 chapters in this story. The first one is punishment. My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. I go to kindergarten. My room is named Room 9. There are lots of rules in that place, like no shouting and no running in the hall and no butting the other children in the stomach with your head. I'm guessing she's done that. She has a hard time managing herself, doesn't she? Hopefully that wasn't something you guys did when you were in kindergarten or in first grade. My teacher's name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs., and that's all. Last week, Mrs. clapped her hands loud together, and then she made an announcement to us. Announcement is the school word for telling us something very important. Boys and girls, may I have your attention, please, she said. Today is going to be a special day in Room 9. We're going to be talking about different careers you can have when you grow up. Yeah, only guess what? I said. I never even heard of that dumb word careers before, and so I don't know what the heck we're talking about. Mrs. made squinty eyes at me. A career is a job, Junie B., she said, and please raise your hand before you speak. We have that kind of rule at our school too, don't we? Then Mrs. talked some more about careers, and she said Monday was going to be called Job Day. And everybody in Room 9 would come to school dressed up like what kind of job they wanted to be. And after that, Room 9 was very excited, except for not me, because I had a big problem. That's why. Yeah, only guess what? I said. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And so that means I can't come to school on Monday. And now I'll probably flunk kindergarten. Hooray! Shouted a mean boy named Jim. I made a fist at him. How'd you like a knuckle sandwich, you big fat Jim? I shouted right back. Mrs. came over to my table. She bended down next to me. Please, Junie B., you simply must try to control yourself better in class. We've talked about this before, remember? Yes, I said nicely, only I hate that guy. Just then, my bestest friend Lucille, who sits next to me, stood up and fluffed her fluffy dress. I always control myself, don't I, teacher? She said. That's because my Nana taught me to act like a little lady. And so Junie B. Jones should act more like me. I made a growly face at her. I do act like a little lady, you dumb bunny, Lucille. And so, not a very nice way to talk to somebody who is your friend, I don't think. She chooses not to use good words, does she? Is she being responsible and respectful? Nope, she's not. And don't say that again or I'll knock you on your can. Mrs. did a frown at me. Just kidding, I said very quick. Except for Mrs. kept on frowning, and then she gave me a punishment. Punishment is a school word for sitting at a big table all by yourself, and everybody keeps on staring at you, and it makes you feel like PU. And that's how come I put my head down on the table and I covered it up with my arms, because punishment takes the friendly right out of you. And so at recess, I didn't speak to Lucille, and I didn't speak to my other bestest friend named Grace either. I just sat down in the grass all by myself, and I watched Janitor paint the litter cans, and I played with a stick and an ant, and that's all. I hate room 9, I said, very grumpily. Except for just then, I saw something very wonderful in the grass, and its name was Two Cherry Lifesavers. Hey, I love those guys, I said. Then I quick picked them up. Uh-oh, this is not good. And I blowed off the germs and I put it right in my mouth. Wait, don't do that, shouted a loud voice at me. Spit that out right now. I turned my head. It was Janitor. He was running at me, speedy quick. His jingly keys were jangling all over the place. Spit that out, I said, he yelled again. Should she have put that in her mouth? Oh my goodness, no. That was not smart on her part at all. Don't ever put something from the ground in your mouth. And so then I spit the cherry lifesavers on the ground because the guy was scaring me. That's why. Janitor bended down next to me. I didn't mean to frighten you, sis, he said, but I spotted a bunch of dirty candy in the grass, and I was going to clean it up when I finished painting. He looked serious at me. Don't you ever eat anything you find on the ground. Do you hear? Not ever. But I blowed off the germs, I told him. Janitor shook his head. You can't blow germs off, he said. Eating things that you find on the ground is very, very dangerous. Then Janitor picked up the dangerous candy. Now run along and play, he said. I did a big sigh. Yeah, only I can't, I said, because I shot off my big fat mouth in kindergarten, and then I got punishment, and now I hate my bestest friend Lucille. Janitor smiled a little bit sad. Life is hard sometimes, isn't it, sis? He said. I bobbed my head up and down. Yes, I said, life is PU. Then Janitor patted my head and he walked away. And so, guess what? I just like Janitor, and that's all. So, our next chapter is chapter 2, The Cop and Dr. Smiley. And so we'll find out what happens next.